Well, it's really great to catch up with you and your class again at ZPHS in Lavrum. It's kind of cool to reach around the world and to share some ideas with students. I find that I always learn something from other people as well. Uh, when I have my students in my class, I recognize that they all know something that I don't know. So it's a great for opportunity for me to learn from you, and maybe you can learn a few things from me too. So I'm a teacher here in Canada, and we're right in the center of Canada, and it's I guess right now we're into fall, and so the leaves are changing colors. The summer heat is gone, and we're anticipating a winter coming up. It's do you always have school on Saturday morning?
Yeah, except the second Saturday, every Saturday is a working day here in India, especially in my region, Andhra Pradesh.
So do you have Sundays off, or what days do you have
Sundays
off?
off. Sundays off. Actually, we don't need to go to school on Sundays. Sundays off. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Canada, we're 5 days a week.
Oh.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Hello, sir.
Good morning.
This is a Kavyasri, a 9th grade from ZPHS Sailavaram. I can ask the question, sir.
I'm ready for a question.
Many great leaders and successful people in this world were greatly influenced by teachers when they were at school. Has anyone influenced you, sir, to become a teacher?
Actually, in high school, I had a teacher that was very influential in my life. It was my music teacher, actually, and I took band class with him. And so it was really interesting that a band is kind of like a bunch of musical instruments, and you play together. And so together you can make some really beautiful music on your own. You're not much alone. I maybe kind of think about I would expect maybe soccer would be popular in your country. I imagine having a one-player soccer team. It really doesn't work. So if you have a whole group together, and my inspiration was my band teacher, Mr. Shaver, and he was inspirational for me. He helped us to understand how to work together as a team, and we really enjoyed making music together. My instrument was the trombone, actually, and so I played the trombone, and that was my part. I played in a jazz band and a concert band.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good morning.
This is Pujita, a 9th grader from ZPHS Sailavaram. I would like to ask you a question, sir.
Sure.
My question is, respect towards teachers is fast depleting in this 21st century. Many teachers are facing behavioral issues with the students. What kind of reforms should we bring about to change this phenomenon?
That's a hard question. That's a very difficult question. Respect, I think, is one of the things that we need to express to our students, and the students need to express it back to the teachers as well. And I think if we have a better understanding of where people come from, listen more, talk less, that we will be able to understand each other's situation a little bit better. Even, in North America here, even police officers are less respected than they used to be, unfortunately. And I think, that's something that was part of our youth that's kind of gone missing. So I think if we can create a better supportive class community, that we understand each other, we'll get along a lot better, and that those behavioral issues will become an exception rather than a norm.
Hello, namaste, sir.
Good evening.
This is P. Charan, a 9th grade from ZPHS Sailavaram. I would like to ask a question, sir. Can I?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you celebrate Teachers' Day in your country, Canada?
Teachers' Day in Canada. Yes, it's not really a formal day. It'll be mentioned, I guess. Occasionally they'll say, "Oh, International Teachers' Day." As far as a big celebration, generally not in Canada. But what we do have is many schools have what they call a parent advisory committee. And this committee works with the school administration and the teachers to make the school a better place for everybody in the school. And so generally, 1 week of the year, they will have a week that they say will be Staff Appreciation Week. And that includes all the people in the school, the people who, the caretakers, the administration, the educational assistants, the teachers, everybody will be recognized. And some schools make a really big deal out of it. And, they'll have like maybe some baking or something for the staff to have, or very small gifts of appreciation. But it's the thought that behind it is what is most meaningful. And teachers work really, really hard. Um, and we love our students. So it's really nice when parents recognize that and support us in that way. It's a nice little gesture. I'm wondering, do you have that in India? Sure.
It's every 5th September. We
Ah,
celebrate Teachers' Day. On that day, usually the head of the institution and he felicitate the teachers by giving them bouquets, flowers, sweets,
oh.
and something like that. And on the day, students actually they enact as a teachers in the classrooms.
Ah, that'd be so fun.
Yes,
That'd be so fun.
students they imitate their teachers' mannerism and walking style and everything in the classroom. That day actually is a funny day for the teachers because we can see our maybe our mannerism or something like that in from the students, and that's a funny day for the most of the teachers. And in connection with this, we have the national awards and state awards. So we
Hmm.
are in a state called Andhra Pradesh, and the state itself announced the awards for the teachers and who serve
Hmm.
better for their community, teaching community, for the student community. At the same time, the prestigious award for any teacher to get in India is a national award.
Oh, yes.
We
Like
get
yourself.
yes, we get that award from President of India.
Well, your students are very, very fortunate to be working with you, internationally recognized teacher. And so they're very fortunate to have you do all the innovative things that you do. And so that's really kind of cool.
In fact, the credit goes to my friends internationally, especially a guy like you. In fact, extends your time. In fact, it is almost 11 o'clock in Canada, but
Hmm.
we have a time zone differences. But you made it to my classroom. So, in fact, I have to be very, very thankful and grateful to teachers like you for extending their wholehearted support to make this mission going on and every passing day because it started way back 7 years ago but still is going on thanks to my friends spread across the globe.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you can expand your classroom way beyond your community by talking to other people. My students love those opportunities when we get to experience other cultures, other experts in different fields, and it's just an amazing opportunity that the world is there for them to learn from, and we can all learn from each other.
Thank you.
What role is teachers playing in this world? Are they really respected in Canada?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. I think teachers, for the most part, are respected. Uh, in Canada, I think they are respected quite often. Um, There's culture is changing, and it is a little difficult at times because there's our students come with so many different needs now, and it's hard to meet everybody's need all the time. I think the teachers are respected for the most part. It's a very difficult job that they have. I've been teaching for a long time, and teachers have a very difficult role. But I think it's been more common for society as a whole to criticize other people rather than looking for the great things that people do. We are very quick to criticize. And I don't know if it's a problem in India or not, but social media has impacted student behaviors where they'll say things about people online that they would not say to their fellow students or anybody else in person. So that's a problem here. Interestingly enough, one thing that's happened in most of the provinces in Canada this year is that they banned cell phones from the classroom. Now, many of my students last year would come with a phone to class and they would be on social media, they'd be doing a whole bunch of different things. It's a really, really great tool if you use it for the right things. And your time in school is to study and learn and to get as much from the material that you cover with Harry as possible. And I think that we need to see the good in each other, and so we can develop that respect for one another. In Canada, our classes are very multicultural. We have students from all over the world. In fact, my school, um, I counted the birth countries last year, and in our school, we had 38 birth countries. So students were born in different countries around the world, and they've come to Canada and they're in the classroom. So there's so much that we can learn from each other just from doing that, those kinds of things. And if we have more respect and more understanding for each other, I think it'll go a long way in making our world a better place.
Namaste, sir.
Good morning.
This is Manishankar, a ninth grader from JPHS Sailavaram. My hobbies are reading books and playing video games. I would like to ask a question, sir. Can I ask?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Are teachers felicitated in your country to encourage them to achieve success in their professions?
Yes. In our school, in our province, we have 10 days a year where we have professional development as teachers. Now, those days are used to learn about different things, how we can become better teachers. Many teachers are going to university as well as teaching and adding to their knowledge that way. But as a school division, as a province, we have 10 days of the school year in which we will approximately a day a month where we learn about different things. It might be a literacy focus one month. It might be a math focus on how we can instruct better with the newest and latest technologies in those subject areas. So that's kind of interesting. And it's very interesting that you would ask this question today because today is we had a professional development day that was for the entire province. There's about 1.3 million people in our province of Manitoba, and every teacher in the province was in professional development today. Usually it's just your school or your school division, but today was a very special day, the one day a year when teachers get together. They come to different schools and different centers. All the math teachers got together and they talked about math techniques and pedagogy and how to how they can help their students better. There's sessions for social science teachers and French teachers, and everybody had a specialty area what they could go to and sign up for and try and learn some more. And so teachers would go to these sessions, and sometimes it's other teachers saying, hey, listen to what I've been doing in the class. So in your case, your teacher has shown many teachers in India about reaching out to others through the internet, like we are doing right now. And so that's a really interesting thing that likely he would help other teachers with. And so I went to some sessions today and learned some new ideas that I can implement into my classes. And so I'm pretty excited about that. We've learned from each other, and it's a process where as a teacher, you've never really arrived because you always have more to learn. And I'm excited about learning, and I'm excited about passing on that learning to the students that I teach.
What is the
Okay.
retirement age in Canada?
Retirement age.
Yes.
The standard retirement age is 65. But people sometimes choose to retire early. Sometimes they go on to a different job, like something that's maybe like if you're in a high stress job, they might take on a different role that's less stressful and easier. There's others that'll work past 65. So as far as retirement age goes, the standard age is 65. Many teachers retire before that.
Okay. So now my focus shifted from retirement age to the healthcare. I heard that many citizens living in Canada, they have the hard times to get the accessibility of healthcare. For instance, if I want to consult a dentist in Canada, I might require a long time to wait for because of so many other patients in queue. But whereas in India, we have very much accessibility of the experts, I mean, specialized doctors. And at the click of mouse, we can reserve the time slot and we can go and meet the doctor. But I heard that this is not the same scenario in Canada. Could you please talk about that?
Sure. Healthcare in Canada is rather unique. You've probably heard about the American system where they have a really fine healthcare, but it's very expensive. In Canada, we have something that's called universal healthcare, and so that means anybody can get basic healthcare for free, and so there's no charge, and it's just covered. So a dentist is a little bit different. The government is rolling out programs now where there's anybody can go to the dentist. Lots of our benefits like that through work, we have those regular programs. There's not really a wait period for that. Where we do have a wait is in hospitals. So if you have, let's say, an emergency, you're going to go to a hospital, an urgent care center, and they're going to assess how serious your situation is. And then they will have you wait in queue in the hospital until they can see you. It'll be, it could be an hour or it could be a couple hours, kind of things like that. But if you're really sick and in desperate need, they will immediately help you, of course. And again, it's all covered free. A personal story. My mother's has cancer, and she's been taken care of immensely. They've had great cancer treatments for her. She's been in the hospital a couple times already. Again, no charges for that. If they see they're doing tests on her regularly. In fact, she probably goes to the hospital for testing, I'm going to say an average about twice a week right now. And on top of that, there's a home care nurse that comes to her twice a week to assist there. So I think we have really great care. It's not immediate all the time, but it's really beneficial. So whether you're rich or whether you're poor, you have care here in Canada.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for giving these very interesting inputs.
Sure.
Maintaining car in Canada is a bit expensive. As per my knowledge, in Canada you have a hard winter season where you need to change the tires to get the grip for the icy roads. And the same time, and you have different seasons, and where you have to change the tires to suit the weather conditions. So what I heard that the maintaining car in Canada is a bit expensive and you need a lot of patience to do these things.
Yeah, it depends where you live, right? Where I live, our temperatures range from like our summers. I think we had a dozen days over plus 30 Celsius this year. So I know that's nothing for you guys, but we had about a dozen of days that are 30 plus. And so that was pretty hot for us. But we will get down to minus 30, minus 40 in the wintertime, and minus 40 Celsius is cold. Uh, and that is hard on a car. It's just a vehicle that, you know, you have to maintain, otherwise it just doesn't start in those weather conditions. And yes, this last week I changed the tires of my car. I put my winter tires on. They say when it hits about 7 degrees outside, you want to start thinking about getting your tires on. So these tires grip the snow better, and you can stop and that kind of stuff. Where I live, it's very flat, so we don't have the hills to deal with, but the tires do make a big difference. So right now it's 11 o'clock at night. It's 3 degrees Celsius outside, and it's going to go up to about 10 tomorrow. So that's about where we are. The leaves are golden yellows and reds and that kind of stuff, mostly coming down, but our summer temperatures are gone. And winter's coming, so we're getting our coats on, we're putting different clothing on, and so it's an interesting time of year. I actually really enjoy winter because there's so many different things that we can do in the wintertime. I know winter's coming, so you figure out ways to enjoy it.
So in Canada, the food that you take is completely different from what we eat here in India. Could you please explain to us what do you usually take in a morning breakfast, lunch, and supper?
Ooh, now you're getting to personal preferences. Let's see. A breakfast for me would be probably some cold cereal. I don't eat a lot for breakfast, and some milk. Maybe sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top of it, make it sweet. Um, I'd like some orange juice, would be nice in the morning. Those kind of things. Lunchtime, when I'm at school, I'll bring a lunch with me. Usually some sandwich meats kind of thing. Usually a piece of fruit. I'd like to have an orange or a banana. I imagine you have bananas there.
Yeah, we have a lot of bananas here.
Oh yeah. So we would get bananas or fruit or apple or orange, that kind of thing. And okay, I'll admit it. I like something sweet on my lunch too, so I'll have maybe a little piece of chocolate or something like that. And so that's kind of fun. Supper time, I come home, we would have a variety of different things. It could be a pizza, it could be like lots of chicken, different ways to serve the chicken. Sometimes it's pork chops, those kinds of things. But I like pasta, lots of different variety of things in the evening.
Okay,
And my favorite drink is water. A lot of teachers live on coffee, but I like water. We have good,
so
clean water here.
how many liters of water do you take per day?
I would like to say a couple liters. a day. I take a big bottle with me to work, and I use that during the day, and then I have water my other meals too. So
Mhm.
our water comes from a First Nations just about 100 kilometers away, and it comes out of a lake and it gets treated, and it's really, really clean, clear water. And so it's the foresight that they had when they built this aqueduct over 100 years ago. There wasn't many people living in Winnipeg at that time, and now we have a city of between 700 and 800,000 people, which isn't big for India, but that aqueduct still serves the people here adequately.
Mhm.
So that's really interesting.
That means every citizen of your region of Canada, they get the fresh water, that too free of cost. Am I right?
Yeah, it's the fresh water. We have an abundant supply of fresh water.
Mhm. So that means,
And so in my province particularly, they use the water for a bunch of different things. We produce hydroelectric power with it too. So when you look at energy crisis for electricity, we've got we export a lot of electricity to the United States, to neighboring provinces, because we have so many rivers that are producing electricity for us.
yes, that means, does the government provide the clean drinking water to all the homes, or do we need to bring the water from the where the resources is available?
Yeah, no, the water, it goes into our homes. Um, we pay a nominal charge for that. Um, Canada, unfortunately, we waste a lot of water because we have so much water. We waste a lot of water, and so when I have students from other parts of the world come, they're just amazed because we have this clean water, and you brush your teeth with it, you wash your dishes with it, you take a bath with it. The water going into the toilet is the same water that you drink. It's crystal clear, clean, and it's into our houses. And we just so all the water that comes out of the house, like the wastewater, it goes back to a treatment plant. It's cleaned again, and then it goes back into the river.
Thank you so much. And that's quite interesting. Thank you so much for your time. And so before we wind up this session, may I request you to give a message to my students?
Oh, a message to your students. I would say, you know, you are so fortunate to be able to be in school and learning. There's students, there's kids around the world that do not have the opportunity that we do to sit in class and learn. They have jobs in different places, and they're uh, taking care of other little children, and they're working in different kinds of jobs. And so we are very, very fortunate to be able to study and learn. And I would encourage you that, you can do so many things. You can do hard things. I did a lesson just recently on hard things with independence. There's a culture in Japan where they have something called My First Errand, and they send little 3 and 4 year olds out to do an errand, and the children are able to manage those kind of things, and they recognize that they can do difficult things. So I'm going to challenge you to do difficult things. Find what interests you, find what you're most excited about. Leave as many doors open as possible for your future studies. Look at where they'll lead. There's so many opportunities for young people today. Work hard and listen and do your work, and then just go out and change the world. There's so many interesting things that you can do, and you, in where you are right now, can make a difference. You can make a difference in your own community right now. And so I encourage you to do that. Lots of little actions. We hear about climate change. There's so many things that we can do individually to make things better. And so all those little actions will make a difference. And I'm excited to hear about what you guys will uh, do in the future One of your students said to me today that she wants to become a doctor. Well, that's a very important job. So we need lots of doctors and people to do various jobs around the world. So I encourage you to study and make the most of your time when you're a student here in class.
Thank you so much, Warren, for your time.